Hi, my name's Gabriella, welcome to my channel. So, now that the spoilers ban is finally over, I can finally talk about my opinions on Avengers Endgame. Well, I mean, I could have talked about them before, but it's nice to respect the whole hashtag, like, don't spoil the Endgame thing. I thought it was quite nice. So I decided to respect that, and that's why you're not seeing this video until now. Anyway, so my first issue is actually just because of, like, a misunderstanding, but it still makes me really mad even though I know that I just understood it wrong, and the whole thing makes me mad anyway, and that is Nat's death. Like, I'm just gonna, like, assume that everyone who died because of, like, in pursuit of the Soul Stone is coming back, because, like, that's just not acceptable to me otherwise. Like, I'm gonna be really mad. But my main issue is because for some reason I'd got it into my head that for the Soul Stone you had to basically kill someone that you loved the most, as opposed to just someone you loved. And that sort of, like, little difference made me really annoyed, because surely Clint should have died because Nat loved him the most, as opposed to Nat dying because Clint had a wife and children, so clearly Nat was not the one he loved the most. I mean, I guess you could argue that his family were all poofed, so, like, Nat was then therefore the next person that he loved the most. But yeah, basically I was like, Clint has to die because for some goddamn reason the writers decided to give him wife and kids, when really him and Nat should have been together forever. And I'm still fuming about that from, like, whenever it was that they decided to introduce that. Still very mad. And then I got very confused about how the whole Soul Stone thing worked, and then I remembered, and it just still bothered me. Like, I'm not really, like, upset, I'm just annoyed. I'm just annoyed by everything they've done to Natasha. Because then it also, like, affected the ending. Like, they got to the big battle, they were about to go up against Thanos, and they had all the original Avengers there, except the one girl. And it felt like they tried to make up with it, having that whole moment with, like, all of the women just kind of, like, running the gauntlet kind of thing. But it felt so forced. Honestly, I would have rather had, like, less prominent screen time of them, but having them all, like, individually fighting and doing their own thing, and, like, actually getting to see that, as opposed to one moment which kind of felt like, we need to give all of these people screen time, let's just bung them in the same shot together. And it was probably meant to be some big feminist moment or something, but it ended up being the complete opposite for me, because it just felt so forced. It felt like the allocated woman's moment kind of thing. Which leads me to my next point. You can see there's a bit of a theme here, really. And that was, where was Captain Marvel for all of that? The end of the last one made it seem like she was going to play this massive part, and then she was barely there. I mean, yes, she turned up, like, to save the day during the battle, but surely, when they first came up with the idea about all the Infinity Stones and everything, she would have been the first one to contact. Her powers literally come from one of the stones. Also, if you're needing someone to actually put it on and do the snappy thing, her powers come from one of the stones. She is surely the strongest person and most likely to be able to withstand it all. And then they wouldn't have gotten into all that mess in the first place. And then, during the actual battle, her and Wanda both have, like, the powers from one of the stones or the other. And both of them, I'm pretty sure, had the glove at one point when they were trying to madly get it to the van so they could take them all back in time or something ridiculous. I'm pretty sure both of them had it on their own at one point or the other. Would have been so easy to just slip it on and do the snappy thing that Robert Downey Jr. got all of the screen time and glory and credit for. And then they probably wouldn't have died either, and everyone would have been happy. Because honestly, it just felt like a really big ego boost for Tony Stark / Robert Downey Jr. Like, to be honest, I wasn't even, like, really upset when he died. He's been annoying me the past few films. Like, his character's been filled with more and more self-importance, and I've just, like, heard stories of him kind of making Marvel give him more screen time, more, like, plot, more, like, Tony Stark-centered things. And I don't know if it's true or not, but, like, hearing stories that Civil War wasn't initially meant to have that god-awful plot, but he was only meant to be, like, a bit character in it, and then was like, nah, I'm not in this film unless I am one of the main characters. And then they had to change the entire plot just for him so that it could, you know, stroke his ego, and it just really annoys me. And that's been really annoying me, so to be honest, I'm not that sad to see him go. Like, Iron Man was cool. Iron Man was great. I loved the early Iron Man films. Like, 1 and 2 were great. And then it just seemed to go downhill, and now I'm not that upset. However, I will tell you the one thing that did not upset me in this film. Well, I mean, there were lots of things that didn't upset me. I enjoyed the majority of the film. I'm just being nitpicky here. The things that I found annoying were actually really quite annoying, but didn't find the ending annoying. Like, it was so improbable and cliche and like ridiculous, made literally no sense, could not have physically worked. Do not get me started on the time travel logic. Like, literally I could do several videos on that. I just don't want to make this really long and boring, which is why I'm not including all my thoughts on that, because that's just a whole other can of worms. And also all that stuff with Sharon Carter in whatever film it was, I'm still mad about that. But oh my god, the ending, I loved it so much. Like, I'm talking about maybe the last 30 seconds. Because I have been shipping Peggy and Cap since like day one. I stand them to the end of the earth. And like, okay, so Cap's been annoying me a bit in the more recent films. That seems to be a bit of a reoccurring theme with leading male Marvel characters. Yeah, because Hawkeye was pissing me off. Thor was okay, but also pissing me off. Yeah, just all of their main male characters were pissing me off a bit, I think. And I just wanted more from the women. But Peggy can do no wrong. I love her. And it was just so beautiful and everything I wanted for them. And basically, I hadn't really cried much during the film. Like, I had teared up a little bit and like gotten upset. And I was like upset, mad when Nat died. They kissed. The screen went black. The lights came up. And I started sobbing my heart out. Like, tears streaming everywhere. It was literally just... that made everything better for me. I mean, not quite, but like... I just now need the documentary of the rest of their lives together. Please. So there you have sort of a brief summary of my main thoughts on the film. There were so many more things to pick apart, but I didn't want this to get super long and boring, so I just kept it short and sweet. What were your thoughts on the film? Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree with anything I've been saying? Do you disagree? Maybe the more dangerous question. Either way, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!